my name is Robert. I'm 22 years old, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about how I started my Airbnb business at 21 without owning any real estate. Now, there's a huge emphasis on the not owning any real estate aspect of this whole video, and I'm diving into this concept with you all here. So stay tuned. I'm going to touch upon my real motive and my mindset when I started and why I was able to do what I did, how I started my Airbnb business at 21 without a good credit score, without a lot of money down, and with no prior business knowledge, and where I'm at now versus when I first started. So as you know, back in December 2018, I uploaded this video, and it's called How I Started My Airbnb Business Without Owning Any Real Estate. And at the time, my YouTube career was just starting. I was very inexperienced when it came to production and recording, and my delivery on camera was probably a 2 out of 10. What I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to touch up on that video that I made in the past. The reason being is because I had an individual message me last night and said that they were inspired by that video. That was a really heartwarming message to receive. And what I want to do now, I want to go into depth and kind of go over my process, my thought process when looking at this opportunity, and sort of why I decided to start doing this versus any other business model out there, any other quote unquote business in a box business model that you see all these gurus talking about online. There's so many things happening, there's so much information, and it's easy to get lost, it's easy to get distracted. And I really want to touch up on my mentality and why I chose this versus anything else, and I think it'll be very beneficial. And also, just to update my current subscribers, where I've been for the past month. If you can remember correctly, I uploaded a video called Is It Still Worth It to Start an Airbnb Business in 2019? And in this video, my goal was to have 6 units listed by the end of 2019. And I'm currently at 5 right now, so that's where I've been. I've been in the gutter, I've been in the war zone, I've been working on actually getting my business to where I said it was gonna be. I'm a man of my word, and therefore I think it's very important to just to stress that really quickly for you. For those of you who think I've been MIA, the truth is I've actually been working on what it is that I talk about on my channel. I know there's a lot of changes happening in this online information space, and I'm very aware of that, and I'm very calculated. So I just want to share with you what it is that I've been up to. I've been signing leases, I've been getting units, I've been furnishing units. Last video I made, I was in the process of setting up my second unit. That's the last you've heard of me on my channel. Let's get back to the main point of this video, and that is how I started my business and how I started making money on Airbnb without owning any property. So let's go back to 2018. It was about July 2018, and I heard a podcast. And this podcast is Self-Made Man, and he was interviewing an individual who you all know as Brian Page. The funny thing is, I heard this podcast last July, versus where most of you have just now come across Brian Page and his B&B formula recently because of the massive ad spend that he's running on this campaign. He's running a massive ad campaign, running paid ads to this course. I think that's bringing a lot of awareness, a lot of curiosity, a lot of interest into this space, which is good for me. I've seen the growth of my channel, and I think it's a direct correlation to interest in the Airbnb space. And I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be sharing my experience with you all here. I think it's interesting how Brian Page is the way that this message kind of was delivered to me. Like I listened to the podcast. It was an amazing podcast, by the way. And it intrigued me. The numbers, the concept, the way that it wasn't something that was instant. I think that was one of the things that really hit me deeply and that I really liked about this business model is that there wasn't instant gratification here. It took time to build a successful business. Takes time. There's no such thing as making it in 1 month or 2 months or a couple months. There's no such thing as making it in 1 year. It takes multiple years. It takes dedication. And I saw that versus other business models out there, other quote unquote opportunities that you could take action on. Just to name a few: Shopify dropshipping, Amazon FBA, affiliate marketing. All these things to me seemed very short term. They seemed very instant gratification based. And me as an individual, I like to think of delayed gratification. That's one of the things that I've learned as an individual and as in my self-development process is delayed gratification will get you where you want to go. And most people have no idea that that's just the missing component to their success. The real reasoning behind my results and my ability to see things through is delayed gratification. I don't expect things to fall into place right away because that's not logical. For me, it's staying consistent with something and going and doing the same thing day in and day out for months at a time for, in my case, a year. It took me one entire year to start scaling. And for other people that may seem very slow paced, I was in this sort of a plateau, which is normal. I don't really expect anyone to disagree with me here. I had my business up and running and the profits were coming in every single month, but I was using those profits to spend on trips, to spend on myself and my living expenses. I'm sure a lot of you can resonate with me here and understand where I'm coming from. And I needed to get out of that mindset. It was just a matter of shifting my mindset, and all of a sudden here I am at 5 units in 1 month's time versus 1 unit in an entire year. And whatever, that's just where I'm at right now. Guys, I got off on a tangent. Back to the story on how I got started. So I heard Brian Page talking about it, and no, I didn't go buy his course. No, I didn't spend money on a mentor. I really just dove headfirst into this business model because it was pretty straightforward. It's pretty cut and clear. For those of you who need additional information, that's totally understandable. I know not everyone learns the same way. Just look at the education system. Not everyone's designed to learn the way that we're all taught, and that's okay. For those of you who do look for a step-by-step with this business model, I have created a product which has helped many individuals. For example, here is one of my students. This guy right here, the screenshot I'm showing you right now, he pitched his first landlord and he got a yes. That was by far the fastest result I've ever seen. And now he's crushing it. He brought in over $2,000 in the month of December, which is pretty remarkable. The fact that I can have the kind of impact on individuals and other people, helping them change their lives and see things for what they are, is really meaningful to me. I saw Brian Page doing his thing. I saw him talking about this business model. So of course I started doing my research. And one thing that Brian Page mentioned in that podcast was there's no authority figures in this space. And what did I do? I quickly went to the internet and I searched Airbnb business or rental arbitrage on YouTube. And what did I find? I found 3 people making videos about it versus look at every other industry, look at every other category on informative videos on YouTube. There's tons of creators, there's tons of individuals talking about these concepts and these things. And for me, I saw a huge gap in the market. And that was really a deciding factor for me when I started uploading these videos back when I did. You guys can date them all the way back to, over a year ago when I started making these Airbnb videos. I saw this massive gap in the fact that there was no authority figures in this space, and now here I am. I'm grateful with what this year has done for me, and I'm grateful with the results and the outcomes that I'm able to see. And I'm grateful for each and every one of you that watch these videos and smash that like button, because I can never repay you for that. Looking at the business model for what it is, there's no instant gratification with this business model. You're literally not profitable for 4 to 5 months, and that's just the reality of it. If you tie up cash on the front end, if you start buying all the furniture and putting money into the leases, you're not cash flowing for quite a while. But then once you do start cash flowing, it's life changing. It's like, whoa. Just for a few examples, this business model is really cool because it's truly passive income in the sense that once you build a system and once you set it up right, you don't have to worry about what's going on. It's just working for you. It's truly a system where you don't have to look at it. As long as you have people you trust that you're working with, as long as you have the system set up and all the protocols and procedures set up in the right way, you're therefore in a position where you're collecting passive income. And I'm going to go over some experiences this past year that I really have embedded in my memory. One of them was I checked in a guest completely automated on my phone from a jet ski in the middle of the lake. This right here was one of the coolest experiences for me. The guest requested to book, whatever, I approved their booking, and I checked them in. I got them in my calendar, making money while doing something that I love. Another moment was I was hiking Camelback Mountain in Phoenix, Arizona, and I was the same thing. Guest booked, I checked them in, I got them in my calendar, I welcomed them with a welcoming message, and that's all there is to it. And the last one I'm going to talk about here is Costa Rica. I was on the beach in Puerto Viejo, Costa Rica, checking in my guests on Airbnb. Life could not have been better in that moment. It was the golden hour, sunset, the jungle behind me, the black sand, the blue water, and I was making money. These are the reasons why I pursued this business model, in the sense that other business models out there aren't as passive, quote unquote. And I know that term passive is controversial, and there's many ways to to perceive what passive income is. But for me, it's building a system and having it work for you night and day. In this very moment, I'm making money, and I want to ask you, are you making money? If you're not at work, if you're not trading time for money, are you truly earning income outside of that? It's just something you need to ask yourself. I think it's necessary. It's becoming a necessity in life to have multiple income streams and not just depend on one stream of income. Those are my real intentions and my motivators when I got started with this, because I saw it for what it was. I saw this opportunity that you can build a system and you have the system working for you. I think that says enough. Just look into that a little bit deeper and you'll know what I'm talking about. So with that being said, this year has been a life-changing year for me in the sense that I've achieved my goals and I'm on track to achieving them. I not only have 5 properties, I have 2 real estate investors buying and rehabbing homes so that I can now Airbnb them. And this is something that happened recently. One of these real estate investors actually purchased a home recently, and I'm now Airbnbing it, and we've built a very a good relationship together, and we're going to continue to scale together. And it's just beautiful to see that these types of things can happen if you just put yourself out there and if you put yourself in a position where opportunity can come your way. And I'm really grateful that every single one of you are still here and you guys are still subscribed and you guys are watching this content. And if you have any questions about this business model, about scalability, I think, it took me a while to get to this point of where I can talk about scalability, because it took me an entire year, and I don't regret it. I learned a lot. I've come a long way since then. There's constant growth happening. There's constant progression happening. And with that being said, I am grateful for all of you, and I'm grateful for this YouTube channel, and that I'm able to share my experience with each and every single one of you on an ongoing basis. Thank you so much. And if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content. I will see you in the next video.